Hi Tom, this is my response to your comment about books and the place of new media in our society. I must confess I didn't really understand everything you said because you said quite a lot and I've watched it through a couple of times. But first of all, let me congratulate you on having over 1,000 subscribers. And that's really good to know because the topics you bring up are always interesting, and this one is particularly interesting to me as a lover of books like yourself. In fact, the comment of my wife when she saw your video was to say he's got more books than we have, but anyway, it's a close call. Books. I think the thing I wanted to pick up on was this thing about the written word. The written word has been around for millennia. You've only got to go to any good museum to see examples of that. And of course scrolls were in use for, again, centuries before the invention of what we would now call bookbinding. And the bookbinding meant that words could be carried around more conveniently, and it's the convenience of the size, it's the convenience of books as reference material that make them so desirable. And as for the new media, well, yes, I agree with you. It makes many more of us than were ever possible before to communicate with people who care to watch or listen to us easily. The technology we have in our own homes is superior to that was in television studios 40, 50 years ago, which in itself is amazing. But the communication of ideas is something which does require concentration, it does require editing, and it does require a development of technique, whether you're writing or whether you're speaking, which enables a clarity of understanding to be gained by the listener or indeed the reader. Well, there we have it. So the new technology is great, and books are great, but oh how I wish there was a simple way of just filing away the countless digital photographs, the videos that we have access to, which was as easy as going into a library and, as you said, picking out a book, looking up the index. And I think this is something that the technology, with a book, once you've got the book, you don't need any other technology except perhaps a pair of glasses to read it. But the downside of modern technology is you need stuff. You need a little camera, you need a computer, you need this, you need that, you need cell phones, you need whatever. And there is a downside to that. The great advantage is, of course, that now the net has made it possible for people to spread their own views and ideas far more widely without the need for an intermediary. Or put it this way, the intermediary has changed. Instead of having to search for a publisher, if you're a writer, you can get your stuff on the internet and do it yourself. And that's great. So, what am I saying in all this? I'm confused in the extent of where things are going. I was told, 15, 20 years ago that books were on the way out. I don't believe it. I don't believe it's a question of either or, it's a question of both and how best to use both. The concept of curling up with a laptop computer on a cold winter's night in front of a roaring log fire and reading from it really doesn't thrill me. But give me a book and you can take that book anywhere with you. Aeroplane, in bed, on the country, in the town, on the train, in your sitting room. And for me, books have something special about them, and I would be disappointed if they were to disappear off the map. As far as just one thing you mentioned about the exalted position that books have held in our culture, it's an interesting, I think this is an interesting fact, that may be so, but it is the visual arts of painting which have scored. You look at the auction house prices for, well, the most popular painter in the world is claimed to be Van Gogh, and the millions that people have paid for his paintings, the millions of people who flock to galleries in the major cities of the world to see paintings by such people as Van Gogh and Monet and Manet and Picasso and so on and so forth, indicates that there has always been that hold on the visual, which books don't quite share in the same way, except for those who are into collecting books for their binding only, because they look pretty on the shelf. There we have it. I'm going to leave you now. I didn't think I've added much to the sum of human knowledge, except to say that technology is only a means of us communicating our ideas, information and advice one to another. And however much technology improves, if we don't have clear thinking and clear ideas to communicate, it is in the end of the day quite valueless. Tom, congratulations once more on your success. It is well deserved, and look forward to seeing many more of your videos.